So we're going to talk about even and odd functions. A function y equals f of x is considered to be an even function if, when you take the function value of the opposite of x, you get the exact same output as when you take the function value of x. Even functions are symmetric over the y-axis. A function f of x is considered to be an odd function if, when you take the function value of the opposite of x, that is equivalent to the negation of the original function. Odd functions are symmetric over the origin. All right, let's try an example. So here's an example. We're going to look at the function f of x equals x squared. And we want to check to see if this is an even function. So we're going to ask ourselves, does f of the opposite of x come out to the exact same answer as f of x? Well, my function is x squared, so I'm going to try and put in negative x for my function and put in positive x for my function. Well, we know that a negative number squared is positive as well as a positive number squared, so this is even. It does work. If we were to look at this function graphically, we notice that the graph of the function f of x equals x squared is a parabola, and a parabola is symmetric over the y-axis. So you can look at it both algebraically and you can look at it graphically to prove that it's an even function. So now let's try the function f of x equals x cubed. Well, we're going to test to see if it's an even function first. So does f of the opposite of x come out to the same answer as f of x does? So if I take the opposite of x and put it in my function and cube it, does that give me the same answer as putting x in? Well, a negative number cubed is still negative, therefore it is not the same. So this is not an even function. So let's test if it's odd. Does f of negative x equal the negative of f of x? Well, f of negative x means put negative x in for my function, and the negative of my function means to take my function and negate it. Well, we said the negative of x cubed is negative x cubed, and the negative of my function is negative x cubed, therefore this is an odd function. So there we have the function of f of x equals x cubed, and we can see that it is symmetric over the origin, an odd function. And by the way, symmetric over the origin is the same as a rotation of 180 degrees. Okay, so the last example we're going to try is, let's try f of x equals x plus 5. So my first question is, does f of negative x come out to the same answer as f of x? If so, then this is an even function. Well, if I put negative x in for x plus 5, does that come out the same as putting x in? This gives me negative x plus 5. This gives me positive x plus 5. The two are not the same, therefore it is not an even function. So I'm going to test to see if it's an odd function. Does f of negative x equal the opposite of f of x? Well, again, I'm going to put negative x in for x, and I'm going to negate my entire function. This will give me negative x plus 5. The other side gives me negative x minus 5. Those are not the same, therefore it is not an odd function. So this function is neither even nor odd. And I hope you remembered all that. Just for the sake of remembering, cosine of x and its reciprocal function, the secant of x, are both even functions. Sine x and its inverse, or reciprocal, cosecant of x, as well as tangent x and its reciprocal function are odd functions.